Thank you for joining us today as we end 2024. Here in this season of Advent, Father and I are grateful to you for your support and trust in us as we do our good work, now 35 years running. Earlier this year at Acton University, one of our biggest programs, one of the attendees wrote a testimonial afterwards. And they said what they appreciated best was the fact that Acton brought together so many people of very diverse viewpoints, positions in life from every language and religion from around the world. And we're able to gather them together to focus on first principles of the human person, which makes us unique. And I think brings us to this moment in the season to reflect on Acton's place in the world and the place of ideas.
Yeah, it's been a tough year or two, not just in the United States, but throughout the world when we think about all of the fractious and polarizing language and attitudes toward people. The recent discussion about whether you're going to invite Uncle so-and-so to dinner because he's a belligerent redneck and that kind of thing. And I think this concerns people. I mean, it's unsettling for people to look around, again, not just at the United States, but when you look at the world, a very similar spirit, zeitgeist, if you will, is taking over. And this Christmas is the antithesis of fracturing of things. There's a line in John Donne, "'Tis all in pieces, all coherence gone." When we don't have coherence, we have something that seeps in to replace coherence. And sometimes that's conspiracy theories, other times it's rhetoric or anger or posturing. Anything you see generally in the media these days. And what Christmas is all about is the incarnation of the Son of God, the enfleshment of the divine into the human circumstance. It tells us about the seriousness with which God takes human history. It is, and it's been called in theology, the great "and" of Christianity, God and man together, heaven and earth together. That's why Christ comes to bring us back into union that was fractured by sin. So this is a wonderful season, and I join you in thanking all of our friends who have made 35 years possible, because that's what we're about. We're about articulating first principles, because if you have the first principles, then when a crisis arises, you rest back on those principles because you know that they're true. You make sure they're true to begin with, and then you rest back on them because you know that they're true, and that gets you through the crisis. You don't make up your principles in the middle of a crisis. You have to have them to begin with.
Well, Father, you mentioned the incivility that we all feel, not just here in the United States. We've come to a very divisive political season, of course, but we see this all around the world. And what more speaks about the antithesis of incivility but peace, and indeed the Prince of Peace that we celebrate in this season?
This is, just to add to this just a bit, this is not a compromise of our principles and our moral standards. It's a general attitude of seeking for union with people, seeking for peace. Peace, of course, based on justice. And that's everything that we're about and have been about from the beginning. And it's very satisfying to me, 35 years later now, in retirement, though I'm waiting to rest a little in this retirement. It's satisfying for me to see and look back over these 35 years and see how faithful we've been to those first principles.
I agree. Great gratitude. I come to that same conclusion. And I'm reminded again of that testimonial I mentioned at the beginning of this, of someone who experienced unity in diversity at an Acton program. And that's a great blessing to be the convener of such opportunities to help bring peace to our world, and as you say, not through denying truth claims, but bringing people together to speak in a way that unites. And grateful to you who helped make that possible. So on behalf of both of us and all of our colleagues at the Acton Institute, thank you very much. And may you have a very blessed Christmas season.
And a prosperous new year.